Hello, I am Terry Hollands and I'm here on behalf of World's Strongest Man, and I've got the pleasure to be interviewing Mr. Trey Mitchell. Trey, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, Terry. Good to see you.
How's training been since World's Strongest Man? You been working hard or taking it a bit easy for a while?
I took it easy the first week. Coach Chad, he said take a full week off, but I couldn't do that. So after 6 days, just went and did a little full body workout, and then the following week we hopped back into it, just priming the system for the next competition.
Yeah, and so we were just chatting off camera before we started. So you got North America's Strongest Man is the next big one for you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it'll be in Canada and Montreal, outside Montreal and Warwick.
With obviously Strongest Man on Earth not happening this year, the lineup's going to be even more stacked than it normally is.
Yeah, I've heard most of the major players in North America's doing Martins, a couple of other big names in America, and obviously all of the Canadian athletes.
Is that a beer festival or just a normal festival?
Well, what I've heard is different regions. The festival here is the region is known for dairy and cheese, so it's a cheese festival.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like cheese as well as beer. Yeah, cheese and beer, I'm fine with it.
I'm sure they can find beer, cheese, and all that stuff.
Exactly, mate. Right, so let's get into it. So you've had 3 fourth places at World's Strongest Man in the past, and you finally sort of got your rightful place, because I think it's been deserving for a long time, on the podium at World's Strongest Man. How did that feel?
It just felt good. Like you said, it's been wanted to happen so many times. Just little mistakes here and there in the past at competitions has held me off of some of the major competitions podiums, and like I said, 3 times at Worlds now, and was a little disappointed. The day one events didn't go as planned, and just I was kind of back, but I knew day 2 events were really good for me, so I knew I could have done really well, and I knew I could have won them, but the other athletes are always good, and so just gave it my all on those the log and the Atlas stones.
Yeah, I mean, I think with those, the way it's going now, obviously those tiny mistakes, which people probably wouldn't even notice they're tiny mistakes when you're doing it, but obviously, where the standard is so good across the board now, it can cost you quite dearly, can't it?
Yeah, the times on the first event that in the finals were so close together. I thought I did pretty good, and then me and Martins were in the back of the lineup, but because like you said, everyone's getting so much better, and the margin of error is so narrow.
So, I mean, I want to talk about actually a couple of events, but I want to start off with the stones. Obviously, you were the only man to load all 5, and kind of is the whole title of King of the Stones something that means a lot to you? Obviously, Stones is such a signature event of strongman and World's Strongest Man. To be the best at that event and to sort of finish the show must feel good.
Yeah, like you said, it's a signature event for World's Strongest Man and strongman sport in general. It's going to be in 99% of all competitions, so I train as hard as I can when it comes up. It feels good being able to finish a stone run, and it feels even better being the only athlete at a competition. I knew I had to beat Fotus to get the podium, and be able to get the last one. He wasn't able to even lift it, and just the draft rush right then afterwards was something you live for in competition.
Yeah, I actually remember back the first time I met you, Trey, was in Australia. I think it was about 2018, maybe.
Yes, sir.
And you were amazingly good on the stones there as well.
Yeah, I wasn't the best there, but that was my first my first pro show.
Yeah.
Those were some heavy stones at that competition.
Yeah.
I think it was the 480, was the only one I got, but it was 520 was the last stone. And was anybody able to complete it that time?
No, I don't think they did actually.
Uh,
I can't remember exactly, but I obviously remember meeting you and thinking, I knew you hadn't been around the scene that long and thinking you got a big future ahead. And obviously, you've gone on and done some amazing things in your career since then.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, like it's just getting the recognition from you and some of the other guys, like kind of felt a lot, been a lot to me, having that, like I know y'all probably didn't mean it at the first time, but it's just like, yeah, it's like y'all didn't really give me the time of day, at the rules meetings, just like, oh,
Yeah.
the new guy. But like after, we competition got started, and just like, it's kind of, like, oh, you actually might do something one day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you've gone on and done some amazing things. But obviously, right, the next event I've got to talk about is the log press. I mean, it was a hell of a battle, and I mean, literally right from the first lift, you looked absolutely rock solid, as strong as you've ever been on the log. But we were like 3 days into the competition by then, and you still managed to go on and do like a massive 213 kilos. Was it 470 pounds?
Yes, yeah,
That was,
four
yeah.
seventy.
And obviously, yeah. Do you feel like obviously on that day could you have done more? And also, if you hadn't done a lot of 2 days plus a event prior to that, what do you think that you're capable of on a day when you're fresh and it's the first event?
Having it at the end of the competition, like it tires out a lot of the athletes. Like some people, they might be able to do it like on their when they're fresh and be able to do anything. But like when I was fresh, I would say like on a good day, I can push 500. Like I think I had 500 at me at SMO last year. Just like I had that
Yeah,
hiccup, like I said, like the hiccup in the first, my second attempt on log, and like
yeah,
that kind of pushed me back. Like just try to just make a little bit better second on my third attempt. Like that day, I know I had maybe 480 like at Worlds. Like I knew I had that
yeah.
in me. Like 470 just flew up. Like for me, like I feel like I put more effort into it as the weight gets heavier. Yeah, just like I'm kind of conserving energy when it's a little lighter. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I was sat there watching it, thinking. I mean, obviously, we know Andre Foytou's an amazing log presser. Mitch Hooper's amazing as well. But I didn't have a doubt in my mind the whole way through that event that you weren't going to win the event. I knew that you were going to win. I could just see it just by how solid everything was. And I think you must have felt that as well while you were out there. You kind of must have known that that was your event for the taking.
Yeah, definitely. Like I knew it was between me and Fotus, and like Hooper surprised me being able to go to 460. Like I was thinking it
Yeah,
was gonna wasn't able to go that heavy, but he's gotten a lot stronger on overhead pressing lately. But yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Like it was just like Fotus. Like he has a great overhead press, but like in the past I've known he'll make some mistakes that's held him back. Like you know like kind of playing it in the back of the head, like hearing him say like, oh, he only has a couple more attempts in him, like just how his body's holding up at the end of the competition. Just like my body was feeling pretty good, and like I knew the strength was there. I could have gone for a couple of more attempts if I had to.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, the another question I've got to ask you while we're talking about log press. I mean, I believe the current world record is 231 kilos. Iron Bibby. I think
That's
that's still correct.
what I've last heard is for uh, 231.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a sort of plan in your mind of attacking that at some point this year, or in the very near future? And also, if you are planning on attacking that, how far do you think that you can sort of push beyond that in the future?
Hmm. Well, like I'm doing the log lift championships at the end of this year, so I might have to actually go for the record, like going up against Bibby and Lucas Haddon and Fotus. Uh, like definitely like for me, like it's building up the static strength with the shoulders and triceps, trying to strengthen those. Like I do, like leading up for the for the Arnold, like I was doing a lot of overhead French presses, and really getting
Yeah.
statically strong with that, and getting over 100 kilos on that, a couple of times. Yeah, like just a lot
Yeah.
of strict pressing too.
I mean, that's crazy. 100 kilos on French press is insane. I just got to put that out there. That's absolute crazy strength. But I mean, I think Trey, like, this is one thing I would say. Like, I would probably argue and say, in terms of just pure brute strength, pure static strength, I think that you're probably the strongest guy in the world at the minute. So,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
what is sort of, yeah, no, I mean, genuinely, like, when it comes to just out and out strength, I do think that it would be hard to argue against you being that person. But where do you think you can make that step from third place to winning World's Strongest Man? Do you think it's just event specific, or do you think that there's some things that you can do to put yourself right in that mix of winning the title?
Well, like coming after the finals, like I said, the first day events weren't the best for me, but like you said, statically, like I was the only guy not wearing a suit on any of the events, the squat or the deadlift. Like, and just like
Yeah.
went without any, suits, and it's like on a squat or a deadlift, where I think I would have been the one winning the event. But like, yeah, like the
Yeah.
first event, the Kanak medley, like that, I knew I need to pick up the speed on that. Like, throwing like that's what the event is. Like you train for it, to try and get as good at it. But
Yeah.
just like always looking at improving, like that's the thing. Picking up the speed on the like that connect flip and yoke medley. Like obviously, I'm always working on little things. Like me and Chad are always going back and forth. What can I
Yeah.
improve on?
I mean, I think, go on, mate.
uh, like like I was the only guy to finish the stone medley, but like after 9 events, like I was pretty slow on that event. It was 46 seconds, I believe, and it's just like that's
Yeah.
like I look at like I need to get faster on that. Some other people is like, oh, you're the only one to finish it, but like I see I need to improve on the speed.
I mean, I think that's a great attitude to have. So even winning an event, you're looking at ways that you can improve on it, which is always going to be a good thing moving forwards. But I mean, obviously, I know that yourself, you're an amazing athlete and everything. You've got Chad backing you as well, who and coaching you, in my opinion, is probably one of the best, most underrated coaches in the game. I mean, I've actually said to a number of people, if I could do my career again, I'd quite happily have him as a coach for myself as well. So in terms of your training, like, what is the focus at this point? Is it to sort of ease off your sort of priority work on your sort of deadlifts and press, because obviously you're right at the top of the game in terms of those events? Would you sort of ease off those a little bit and prioritize some other stuff, or is the focus still on just, let's just get everything ticked off and make sure that we sort of try and progress on everything?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we're always proving on everything. Like yes, we're gonna improve on the the static strength, but we're also working on the athleticism and the speed and stuff. Like I'm doing the athletic drills for my warm ups for going into the log and
Yeah.
deadlifts and squats. It's always something. Yeah.
I mean, I actually think that probably people underestimate how quick you can actually move as well. I mean, obviously, you don't get third place at World's Strongest Man, and I can speak from this from personal experience. You don't get there unless you're extremely good at everything. You don't just get there on a couple of things. So, obviously, I think because your static strength is so massive, and they sort of obviously make the comparison between that and the moving events, it almost makes your moving events kind of look worse than they are, if that makes sense. I know it sounds like a crazy thing to say.
No,
I
like
think that you're actually very well rounded in terms of as an athlete.
yeah, thank you. Like yeah, like the your best stuff like kind of outshines things that maybe a B grade when my static strength like is like a A plus S strength, but like the moving
Yeah,
like a B, which B isn't bad as passing. It's just some of the other guys are
yeah,
a little quicker. Like Chad was joking or
yeah,
whatever. Like I was, he saw he said I was moving the fastest he ever seen me, like running between the flip to the yoke, and just like,
Yeah.
but I'm all
Yeah, I mean, it was very small margins on that event when it in between like the best and obviously the lower placing guys on that final event. It was small margins.
yeah, definitely. Like what threw me off was that flip was very unique. Like it didn't feel like a tired
Yeah.
flip or anything.
Well, I mean, this is another thing that perhaps I think people when they've got to understand when you're talking about the final world's strongest man that everyone's good at everything, and it's kind of just some guys are just a tiny bit better at other stuff, and that's obviously what gets them better performances on those events. But the margins are tiny, so it's only going to take you to get a tiny bit better on a couple of things, and then you're right in contention for a win.
Yeah, you can always improve on every event. Improve on like my grip needs a lot of work. Like I've been doing stuff to try and fix that. So, like I don't know if like eventually I'll have to get surgery or something. I've never gotten
Yeah,
surgery because I don't think it's that bad. Like I just need to be more consistent with my training, my grip training, and that's what I've been
yeah.
really focusing on is being more consistent.
Oh, that's great. So obviously you've just podiumed at World's Strongest Man. You've been in the final 6 times. You've been around forever. What is it at this point now? What is the thing that's going to take you from third place, multiple time finalist, to going there next year and being the main guy to win the title?
Like I definitely like.
Is it just more time?
Yeah. Like more time or whatever. You say I've been here forever, like just because I started so young, like
Yeah.
like my first year was
What?
2019 at Worlds. Made the finals first year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, it's time. Like focus it, like trying to fix the like we've just been talking about is the weaknesses and improving
Yeah.
on getting better. Like not even just weakness, just trying to get better, like faster. Faster. More stable. And just
So
consistent.
what age are you now, Trey? Just out of curiosity.
I'm 33 this year, this summer.
Oh, so you still got bags of time. I mean, yeah, I mean, from my experience, not just for myself, but from what I see, most guys it's sort of that early to mid 30s is almost like prime years. So you're coming right into your prime now.
Yeah, like that's like a was kind of funny story. Like in 24, at Worlds in 24, like the guys you just talking about, like in the media and everything. So you're one of the veterans. What the guys, other guys think about you. Like Austin Andrade, Tristan Hoth, and Wes.
Yeah.
He's like shoot, I'm not. I don't think of me as a veteran, but it's just because I've been doing it for so long. I'm the same age as those guys. Just since I've been doing it,
Yeah.
been competing since 2018 on the international stage. And it's just like I said, like I do my best to take care of my body. Like some of the other athletes, they kind of run it, go hit balls deep, and get burnt out quick. Like I do my best to take care of my
Yeah.
body to last as long as this at a high level.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and obviously you've come back from a couple of injuries in the past, and obviously proved that that's sort of well behind you now as well, which obviously is a massive positive.
Yeah, like the major injury, the Achilles, was this year was the first time we had the truck pull in World's Strongest Man or any competition I did since the injury. So it was a little nerve wracking doing that.
I bet.
Yeah, but like was able to do set up a truck pull for training with some of the other guys, so like Nick and Austin, and it held up. It was a little sore afterwards, but like come competition days, like didn't have any issues.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And obviously it's great to see as well. I know that sort of bad injuries can be difficult mentally as much as physically. So it's great to see you coming through it and getting an amazing performance at the end of the show.
Yeah, yeah. Like definitely was a miserable at the first time, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so obviously you just mentioned them, Nick and Austin. You're all three of you from Texas, all in the final together. What is it that makes the Texas boys kind of have this sort of ability that they've got at the moment? Everything's obviously going well for all three of you, and you know, I know you kind of do your own thing and stuff like that, but you know, is there something that you guys are doing differently to everyone else? Because you all seem to be improving amazingly well.
Uh, like I don't think we do anything different. Like we can make a joke like we train in like a lot harsher conditions than some of the other guys. You're subject to the Texas weather, and like
Yeah.
it's not cold.
I just want to say, obviously, best of luck for North America's Strongest Man. Best of luck for the rest of the year. Obviously, hopefully, we'll see you break the log world record towards the end of the year as well, which I think you're capable of. But most importantly, I want to really thank you for giving up some of your time and coming on here and answering some questions. And yeah, we really appreciate it. And obviously, an amazing performance at World's Strongest Man. So thanks very much, Troy. To everyone watching, thanks very much for tuning in. Hope you got something out of that and look forward to seeing you next time.